It's time to actually measure the piston rings. So we're looking at the cylinder block here where the actual pistons go up and down inside. You will need a few tools, so I'm going to go through this in this video and show you how I did it. It's a quick way of doing it to make sure you get good measurements. So you will need this telescopic gauge which actually measures inside the bore of a hole. Basically it measures it up. So what you can do is it actually has a spring loaded in there and you can spin it inside and get the right measurement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through this and show you how I did it and then let you see the process. So we have got only the two cylinders in this motorcycle. It's a twin. So we're going to put the telescopic gauge in. I got a meter reading. It's basically measuring how the distance is across there. So you need to measure in a few directions. I'll explain it in more detail as we go through. You want to get a piece of paper and write down the measurements. And what will help is if you have a digital caliper, because these will be two decimal places you want ideally to get you a good reading. And there are tolerances where you want to either rebore the cylinder or get new rings with bigger bores, basically with bigger rings. So what I'm doing here is I'm measuring in two directions, horizontally and vertically. So think of it like a cross. I'm measuring across, top to bottom, then left to right, and we're writing that down for each side. So I did it for the left side and I was getting close to 62 millimeters. So that kind of seems like the standard that I was getting, but because this caliper I had was not a digital one, I did end up ordering a digital caliper. I'll put links in the description to these things I'm using, because if you're doing work on your own motorcycle, it's this side of it that it's a bit more time consuming and it takes a bit of time to do, but you want to get it right because this is where your engine is basically providing your power. So here I've got the calipers which are not digital, they're analog. So I did my first run here, I did one reading, and then I cleaned the cylinder block up of the old gasket, because what happens is with these cylinder blocks, when you take them apart, you need to replace the gasket. I did a full video about how to clean it and what I use, so you'll see that as I do these. So keep an eye out on the playlist for this restoration project. But as you can see here, I've done the left side. I measured along the top, I measured halfway down, and then at the bottom as well. So you'll have three different measurements across the cylinder to make sure that there's not sections that are more worn than the top or the bottom. So if the pistons are slapping or if there's any issues with the rings like scraping against there, you want to look inside the bore as well to make sure there's no scraping. So it's like a visual inspection as well as a measurement. This is the first one I did do, but I will actually go through the digital one as well. I don't know if I recorded that, but I will show you elements of the digital caliper stage as well. And there's a bit more work involved here because we will need to check the piston rings as well to see which piston rings we need, and we need to clean up the pistons themselves. So the pistons are basically what goes up and down in the cylinder, and that's what creates the power as you get a compression stroke and a power stroke. And then on the top of this you have the actual tappets which have valves which let in the fuel mixture, air mixture, and then one little tappet to let out the exhaust fumes. So I'll be checking those as well. That'll be a separate video, but that will show you how to kind of service the whole thing yourself. So we want to do as much of this as possible ourselves. I have got a bit of a special treat planned for this motorcycle. I will be custom engraving the motorcycle, because the plan is once I've got this motorcycle up and running on the road, I'm going to actually show how to ride a motorcycle on this motorcycle. So I'll do a few videos about clutch control, riding a motorcycle, because you remember I did the Mod 1 test, which I actually posted very late. I did it, passed and everything, and like 2 years later I saw the video. I was like, oh, I never uploaded this, and I uploaded it and people found it useful. So that made me think I'll share a bit more about actual riding motorcycles and what's good, the little tricks about doing a figure of 8 and all the Mod 1 kind of things they want you to do. So here you can see I actually measured the piston next, and without any rings present I used the cylinder block just to see how much resistance there was and if the pistons were good. So this all worked out very nicely and it's very easy to do. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to subscribe so you actually get notifications directly to your phone each time I load a new episode. I've got loads of videos planned for this bike when we get it back on the road, so it'd be good to have you along on the journey with me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video right here.